nice to celebrate in the month of April. So the weekends were very, very busy, and work has been very, very busy. Now that we're into the month of May, I feel like I'm recovering a bit from the month of April, but I still had lots of favorites from the month that I want to talk about. So I'm going to start with a sip of coffee. I'm filming this video on a Wednesday, which is insane. Never done that before. A Wednesday morning. And I'm also going to be spontaneous today. And I'm taking the afternoon off from work to go see Sinners at a movie theater. And do you want to know what? I can do that because I'm a grown up. Okay. Exercise your free will. I really have been wanting to go see this movie. I really want to see it in theaters. And I'm not going to be able to make it happen on the weekends that I have coming up. So I'm doing it on a Wednesday. Love that for me. But let's get into April. I want to start with my favorite gift. My favorite new item from the month. And it's this amazing vase, cup, plant pot, whatever you want it to be. It is from an artist in Washington named Casey Doyle, and the name of this piece is Emotional Support Cup. Now, I kept the sticker on so that I could read off the artist's name, because I kind of feel like this is a very cool ASMR trigger. And if there's any other ASMR artists out there who are intrigued by this design, the artist Casey Doyle has a bunch of other things that have this sort of raindrop texture on them, like sculptural and functional. Now, it says this is an emotional support cup, but I don't know if I want to drink out of it. I think I might use it for ASMR, or put a plant in it, so that I can have it out, like up on a shelf somewhere. How satisfying is that? And because it's a cup, it stops at the lip, so it's comfortable to drink from. But the more sculptural pieces that I saw are completely covered in this texture. It reminds me of raindrops, dragon scales. It makes me so happy. My sister got this for me as a gift because I'd mentioned it. I had seen it and thought it was really cool and it would be cool for ASMR videos. And my little sister came through because I'm on a low buy year. She knew I wasn't going to get it for myself. So she got it for me, which was very, very sweet. Shout out to sisters. Okay. So this was my favorite gift for the month. My favorite movie. Let's go to that one next. I'm probably just gonna keep playing with this because I like the way it sounds. My favorite movie for the month of April was Dinner in America. Dinner in America. This movie came out in 2020. I'd never seen it until April of this year. And it's A Haunting in Connecticut, and Jennifer's Body, and the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. More recently, he was in Smile. Anyway, he played a punk rocker who meets this weird girl, and hilarity ensues as he helps her come out of her shell and claim her weirdness as like a badge of honor. It made me feel like I had a crush for like a week after I watched it. I had like little butterflies in my tummy and felt a little floaty, and it was just such a nice escape and way to kick off the month. It reminded me a little bit of the movie Bottoms. I don't know if you've seen that one, where the girls have like a fight club in high school. And it's just similarly, they're both funny, but empowering. Be weird. That's who you are, kind of way. And it made me really happy. So, Dinner in America was my favorite movie in April. And my favorite music. One of the songs came out of that movie. It's called Watermelon. Watermelon by John plus Jane Q Public. It is a short but sweet song. I'd heard the song. The song had been recommended to me in my Spotify algorithm before, and I think I'd even added it to a playlist because I really liked it. And it was in the movie, and I about lost my damn mind when it came on in the movie because it was so perfect, and knowing why that song was created, because it was made for the movie, just made me love it even more. So I listened to that song a lot in April. Very summertime, walking around, feeling confident kind of vibes. A little bit of punk heart, but with these really sweet female lead vocals. And yeah, beautiful. Loved it so much. The other song that I listened to a lot in April was Get Busy by Sean Paul. Yeah, so I'm a millennial. Sean Paul was incredibly popular when I was in elementary, middle, high school, and so he's like a core memory for me. And like school dances, dancing to Get Busy by Sean Paul. This month, I think it was Vice on YouTube had put out a video about the making of that song. And I, first of all, am obsessed with that entire series that Vice does, because they take some of the biggest songs and then they interview the producer, the artist, and others connected to it about how the song was created and how it got so big and how it changed the artist's life. The entire series is so fun to watch, just to learn more about the creation process of these massive songs. And this one was just a joy to watch. Bring back more Sean Paul in this year, 2025. We're going to be having some recession pop coming back into rotation, and I would love to just have some dancehall music back on the radio to get us through this dark time. And there was one other song that I could not stop listening to in April, and that was Undressed by Somber, S-O-M-B-R. Another one of those fantastic, sad ask her to make us a dessert of our choice each month for the year. And this month it was my turn to pick, and I picked lemon bars, and she came through. They were a super thick shortbread sort of base, beautiful tart lemon top with just a little bit of powdered sugar. Good God, the way that I was eating those for breakfast, lunch, and dinner until they were gone. They were incredible. So that was my favorite food for the month. My favorite lesson for the month of April. Remember last month in my favorites video I said I was doing 75 hard. Yes, I did start it, and I made it to day 20 before I quit / failed 75 hard. The lesson that I learned from that is it's okay to quit while you're ahead. It's okay to quit while you're ahead. I had hurt my back in like February, or maybe it was even in March, and I thought that it had healed all the way. I was feeling good. I was back in my regular workout routine and everything. But when I started 75 hard and I was doing 2 workouts a day, it started becoming an issue. I was like having to spend the first 20 minutes of every morning putting Tiger Balm on my back to get it to like loosen up before I could start my day. And I kept pushing through, and I got to a point where either I'm gonna quit because I get injured and I have to stop, or I'm gonna quit right now and let my body rest and take a moment to heal properly. So either way, I don't think I'm gonna make it through all 75 days, and I don't want to hurt myself, and I don't want to give myself a longer term injury just because I stubbornly do not want to give up on this challenge that I'd started. The purpose of 75 hard is that it's a mental toughness challenge, and I felt like my body was giving up way before my brain was on this one. The day before I quit, I was talking to my husband, and I was like, you know that episode of Supernatural where Sam's been going through the trials all season, and he's almost at the end, he's about to finish the trials, and then Dean comes and tells him he has to stop because the trials are going to kill him, and Sam says, I don't know how to stop. That's how I feel. I didn't know how to say, I need to stop this challenge because it's hurting me physically. But you know, I'm in my mid-30s, and you have to accept that the things that you could do in your 20s physically, sometimes you can't do them anymore, and that's okay. Quit while you're ahead. Don't hurt yourself just because you want to do this arbitrary challenge that you picked. And so I did. I quit on day 20. I did my morning workout, and my body felt like trash garbage, and I was like, what am I doing? I felt like I was punishing myself, and I asked myself, why are you doing this? I'm really proud of myself for stopping before I hurt myself, and you know, I probably won't be trying this challenge again in the future just because I think it's too physically demanding for what my body can do currently. It was nice to have things to focus on. I really enjoyed the reading 10 pages of nonfiction component of it, and I've actually stuck with that even after I've given up the challenge. So there were things that I enjoyed about it, and it was nice to have something to put a lot of my time, energy, and attention into that felt controllable in a world where there's so much out of my control. It was nice to have something that I could really focus on, but you know, you gotta listen to your body. And the challenge led me to read this book that has been sitting on my bookshelf for years. I've Hardened Failing was worth it because I read this book. My favorite learning moment, we'll call it, for the month of April was reading this book and learning how to listen to my body. Reminded me of the importance of rest, which I just really needed to hear while I was doing that challenge and feeling like I can't quit. This book is like, you absolutely can quit, and in fact you should, because if your body is telling you that something's wrong, you better listen before it makes you listen. The book is called Burnout: The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. It was given to me by a friend during the pandemic, and I didn't feel like I was in a place where I wanted to be reading about burnout, so I set it on my shelf and I never picked it up again. But it is about burnout for sure, but it's about the science behind what stress does to your body, how to complete a stress cycle so that your body can get out of that stress mode. For me, this is by women for women, but a lot of it applies to everyone, especially the part about the biological stress cycle. I'm really glad that I read this, and it helped me. I want to read one particular section of the book because in our current times, feeling a little helpless and a little hopeless is super normal. And there was a section in here about unlearning helplessness. They talked about these experiments that they'd done with rats. In this study, when a rat learned that there was nothing it could do to improve its situation, it just stopped trying. And when it was removed from that environment and given an opportunity to improve its situation, it didn't even try. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately, just a little bit frozen. It's hard to direct your attention in any one direction right now because there's so much chaos around everything. And it's easy to feel frozen in that. And this book said, you need to teach your nervous system that it's not helpless. How you do something, and something is anything that isn't nothing. Don't distract yourself or numb out. Do a thing. Do yard work or gardening. Care for your small patch of the world. Take food to somebody who needs a little boost. Take your dog to the park. Show up at a Black Lives Matter march. You might even call your government representative. That's great. That's participation. You're not helpless. Your goal is not to stabilize the government. That's not your job. Your goal is to stabilize you so that you can maintain a sense of efficacy, so that you can do the important stuff your family and your community need from you. As the saying goes, nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something, and something is anything that isn't nothing. That's my favorite bit of advice for the month of April. Do something. So that's what I've been doing all month. And it's been helping a lot. My favorite action for the month of April, which was donating from the AdSense on this channel, $171.55 to Artist Trust. Yay, us. That's amazing. And I have my little spreadsheet going each time I get an AdSense payment and I make an Artist Trust donation. I'm tracking it on a spreadsheet. And since December of 2024, which is when the channel was monetized and I got the first payout, we have donated $720 so far to Artist Trusts. And if this is my first video that you're seeing, Artist Trust is an organization that gives grants to artists across the state of Washington, and all of the AdSense money, the revenue made from this ASMR channel, gets donated directly to that organization. So we donated $171.55 in April, and that means we've donated $720 total so far. thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you for supporting artists in Washington through your support of this channel. Okay. I think that's all that I feel like talking about. I did want to shout out an ASMR channel. It's called ASMR SP. I'll link the channel in the description box. But it's just really good vibes over there. If you like my videos, you'll definitely like that channel as well because it's very similar. Cozy vibes, trigger assortments, whispers. But the trigger assortments on that channel are like very unique and fun and cool. And you should check it out if you're looking for another ASMR channel to support. So, shout out. Also, congratulations to Leonarda ASMR for hitting 5K. She just hit 5K subscribers and she has supported my channel from the very beginning. I've been following her channel all along the way and it just makes me really happy to see the growth in her channel. So, I don't know. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood for today's recording because I'm out of my normal element. Do you know that refrigerator kicked on the actual second that I started recording this video, and now that I'm wrapping it up, it did in fact turn off. So cool. I hope that you're doing well, taking care of yourself, doing something, and something is anything that isn't nothing, okay? Thank you for watching and supporting the channel so that we can continue to make donations to Artist Trust. And go watch Dinner in America and listen to the song Watermelon by John and Jane Q Public, okay? You won't regret it, I promise. Take care. I'll see you soon.